Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is about principles of bookkeeping controls, and today we are going to practice answering some exam questions. Let's go to our example. We have 3 questions. Number 1, the following VAT information of ABC Limited has been recorded for the month of May. Letter A, complete the VAT control account. So we will transfer this VAT informations to the VAT control account. Always remember that VAT should be recorded on the same side as the net. So if the net is recorded as a credit, the VAT should also be recorded as credit. So we should have to analyze which side the net is recorded. First is the sales. We record sales in credit, so the VAT for sales goes to credit as well. Next is discounts received. Discounts received is a prompt payment discount, and I have explained how to distinguish the prompt payment discount, whether they are discounts received or discounts allowed, in my previous video, and I will put the link in the description down below. The discounts received are the discounts that we have received from our suppliers, so it decreases our purchases. The purchases are recorded in debit, so the discounts received that decreases the purchases should be recorded to the opposite side, which is credit. So the VAT is recorded in credit as well. Next, purchases, which we record in debit, so we will record the VAT in debit as well. Next is sales returns, which decreases our sales. We record sales in credit, so the sales returns that decreases our sales should be recorded in debit. And the VAT should go to debit as well. Next is discounts allowed. We are already done with the discounts received, so you might think to just put it to the opposite side because they are opposites. However, I do advise you to still analyze it first to make sure both of them are in their correct places. So let's analyze. Discounts allowed are the discounts that we have allowed to our customers for our sales, so it decreases our sales. We record sales in credit, therefore the discounts allowed that decreases our sales should be recorded in the opposite side, which is debit, and so is the VAT. Next is the purchases returns, which decreases our purchases. We record purchases in debit, so the purchases returns that decreases the purchases should be recorded in credit, and so is the VAT. Next, cash sales are also sales which we record in credit, so we should record the VAT in credit as well. And the last is payment to HMRC. Remember that VAT control account is a liability account, so normally the balance at the end of the period is credit, and we have to pay that liability to HMRC. However, there are some cases that the balance is debit. It means we have no liability to pay to HMRC. Instead, we have a receivable from HMRC. Debit balance happens when the amount of VAT for our purchases is much higher than the amount of VAT for our sales. So it's very important to pay attention to this. You may see either payment to HMRC or payment from HMRC. So this payment to HMRC means we have paid our liability to HMRC, so our liability is credit, but when we pay, we decrease our liability, so it's debit. If, for example, we see payment from HMRC in here, it means we didn't have a liability to pay to HMRC, but instead we have a receivable from HMRC, which is debit. So when we receive payment from HMRC, that receivable will decrease, so it will go to the opposite side, which is credit. So we have now completed the VAT control account. The balance carried down is already given here. So just double check if the total of the debit is equal to credit. Now let's move on to the next question. Number 2, the following information is the receivables ledger control account of ABC Limited for the month of May. The information from the cash receipts book is not yet entered, which is 49,651 for the month. Letter A, complete the receivables ledger control account. To complete the RLCA, we will record this last figure, which is from the cash book. First, let's analyze whether this amount should be recorded to debit or credit. This figure is from the receipt side of the cash book, so it means this is the money that we have received in our bank. RLCA is an asset account which increases in debit, and the only time it increases is when we have sales, so we record sales in debit. All the other entries decrease our RLCA, which include sales returns, discounts allowed, and also cash received in our bank, which are recorded to the opposite side, which is credit. So the money that we have received in our bank as payment for our receivables means it decreases our receivables, so it should go to credit. Letter B, what will be the balance carried down of the receivables ledger control account? So let's balance the account to get the balance carried down. Now that the totals of the debit and credit are equal, it means this balance carried down is correct. So let's enter this amount. Now let's move on to the next question. Number 3, the following information is the payables ledger control account of ABC Limited for the month of May. The information from the purchases daybook is not yet entered, which is 6,984 for the month. Letter A, complete the payables ledger control account. To complete the PLCA, we have to record this last figure from the purchases daybook. But first, let's analyze whether this amount should be recorded to debit or credit. PLCA is a liability account which increases in credit, and the only time it increases is when we have purchases. So we record purchases in credit. All other entries decrease our PLCA, which include purchases returns, discounts received, and also the cash payment made from our bank, which are recorded in debit. So this figure from purchases daybook increases our PLCA, so this should be recorded in credit. Next, letter B, what will be the balance carried down of the payables ledger control account? So let's balance the account to get the balance carried down. Now that the totals of the debit and credit are equal, it means this balance carried down is correct. So let's enter this amount. And that's it for this video. I hope you find it useful. If you want to watch more videos like this, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.